Hey y'all, welcome back to the Lady Layer. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We had a lot of stuff going on this weekend. And I don't know about, listen, I hope y'all started watching MAFS because it's getting good. And the next episode look like it's going to be even better. Okay?
Even better, honey. What's the name? Michelle, I don't know who put the fire under her booty, but she is not holding back. She like, girl, say it to my face.
Oh, I know. Somebody put the battery all the way up in her back. And Maddison ain't holding back either. Maddison said, well, why do you care anyways? You never planned on leaving with him in the first place. Like,
somebody had to say it.
Shit. That's what we've been saying this whole time. Y'all want to harp on the basement. Like, listen,
right.
We are not advocating for you to get a man who lives in his basement. But let's just be real. David helps his parents. He's saving his money. This is what he said. I don't know. I ain't never seen that man.
Because y'all skip past that for the people that's in the comments on TikTok.
Right.
Y'all skipped completely past the fact that he said what he said.
Right. We ain't seen the man's bank account, but he said he's saving. His friend said he's saving. He said if he wanted to go buy a house, he could go and buy one tomorrow. So that don't sound like a bum to me, especially if he's helping his family. Like,
and he's been there for 8 months.
Right.
He got rid of his old apartment. He said he has a plan. Did she ever give him an opportunity to show her his plan? No. Right. She decided at the wedding in the bathroom when she was crying in the bathroom that he wasn't good enough for her.
Right. It wasn't going to work.
Right. So I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Now, are we advocating for David? Absolutely not, because he was dead wrong for what he did.
Right.
Regardless of how he felt like he was being treated with her, regardless of whether he was getting attention or not, because I think that was a telltale sign that he wasn't ready to get married by him saying, well, she wasn't giving me attention. Like, you sound like a cheater.
Right. And then what's his name? Pastor Cal was like, well, who's supposed to express that? Like, who helps you feel like you need attention or feel needed or whatever? Like, that's something that you have to work on with yourself.
Well, because he was asking her for... He was basically saying, like, when he gets confronted with situations like this, he kind of like shuts down.
He did.
And then he was like, well, he was like, well, I was hoping that, one day my wife would help me with that. He's like, that is not her responsibility. Like, you're supposed to do that.
Right. Well, he showed how he shuts down. Like, he's definitely not mature. I hope him and Maddison don't rush into anything. Like, I do think that they probably are a good couple. They probably should have been matched. But like, I don't want them to rush because he's not mature enough to be married right now. Like,
and neither is she. I feel like anybody who would, for one, I don't feel like we're gonna jump around in this. Okay, so we already talked about marriage at first sight, but I don't feel like either one of them were ready for this because they weren't treating it like a real marriage.
No,
they're treating it like, oh, we're just together with these people, but because we don't know them, like, I'm pretty sure they justified what they were doing because of that.
Yeah, they treat it more like Love is Blind.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I'm like, they're treating this like it's Love is Blind, like they didn't sign on the dotted line to actually be legally married. Like, you are cheating.
Yeah,
they say they didn't do nothing physical, but like someone had mentioned, like, that's not a text message that you send to someone on the fly.
Right.
That you have never had it.
You never had it. They feel the same or anything. Like, it's weird.
No. They sit up here acting like this is the first time they talked about this, and like he doesn't know how I feel. If he didn't know how you feel, he wouldn't have sent that message.
Right. And on the next episode, how they jump from being platonic friends at the gym to where she's saying in the hotel room that he decorated, oh, well, we ain't gonna be getting much sleep. Like, that's not like y'all really been out here doing y'all thing and y'all just don't want to look bad. Like,
and this is what I don't like about the fact that Married at First Sight is highlighting this, because y'all are condoning it. The fact that y'all gave them a package with a camera and y'all are filming this for everybody to see, to me, it's kind of like condoning it. I feel like y'all ruined the experiment, and they should have been.
Right. Once they came out and they said they didn't want to be with their spouse, that's it.
Home. Right. Home and let them live their life off camera. Like, yes, do we want to see a little bit? Yeah, I do. But I don't feel like it's right because y'all are condoning cheating. These people are married. And y'all
I feel like they probably are doing it too, because I don't know do you think Married at First Sight's ratings are really as good as they used to be? Like, so maybe this is what's gonna get people back interested in wanting to watch, because last season was crazy too.
Yeah, people love Scandal. I haven't seen the past 2 seasons, I don't think. But
well, if you don't pay for commercials on Hulu, it's on Hulu and you could just watch it, girl.
I mean, I got Lifetime now, so I can go back and watch it. But yeah, I hadn't watched the last 2 seasons, but I don't know. I still feel like it's messed up, and it's kind of like a slap in the face for people who are married. It's like, y'all are like, yeah, it's weird. But anyway, let's back rewind to the top of the episode. Yeah. Right.
So it starts off with Alan and Maddison going to meet the experts. And honestly, I don't even think that they needed to go. They could have just did this over Zoom, because Alan didn't care about nothing Maddison had to say. All he was there to do was say, I want a divorce. And that was it. He didn't care about nothing.
Now, do you feel like he really didn't care? Because he said he flipped the switch and he was over it. By the way,
I think that's definitely his coping mechanism to just shut down. I definitely feel like he cares, but like he already has said that he's been hurt so many times. So I can see him shutting down his emotions to not break down.
Yeah, I agree. I think he just didn't want to show them or give them the gratification to see him like break down again, because he already showed us how he really felt.
Yeah.
When he tossed everything around in that kitchen.
Right.
But I get it. He's like, I want to be done with this. Let's have this conversation so I can go on with my life and file for this divorce and move on.
Right. Because in the next episode, he talking about how he out here in these streets being, spreading them seeds.
Right. And I feel like Maddison just sat up there and lied, because they asked her, well, are you going to pursue a relationship with David? Like, where are you right now? She's like, I just want to focus on my healing. Girl, healing from what?
She don't listen. But her and David don't want to look bad. They are pursuing each other. They just don't want to say, "Oh, I just dropped my husband. Now I'm about to be with my side nigga or who."
Yeah,
whatever.
Because in the next scene or the next couple scenes,
they in a date.
And she's talking about how she does want to pursue a relationship with him, but she didn't want to say that in front of them experts, because they was already looking at her sideways. Now, I think she's just completely oblivious, because she thinks that you could tell she's kind of like one of those girls that's like used to the world revolving around her, because she cannot understand why people are not excusing her behavior. Like with the girls calling her out, with the experts calling her out, she's confused. Like, she doesn't understand why people don't understand where like she's coming from. And it's like, girl, I know you're used to the world revolving around you and people excusing your whatever, but no, you're wrong.
Yeah, she's not used to people actually holding her accountable
at all.
So
if that's very clear. And so I think, like you said, because she kind of probably felt the walls closing in, she knew she couldn't say that she wanted to pursue a relationship with David, because that would make her look worse. And then I'm sure with being on TV, she's probably thinking like, oh my gosh, is the world going to see me?
Sorry. I was trying to
if you guys hear Sophie in the background, just know she just said, hey, y'all.
Yeah, she has main character energy, but she's not
right. But yeah, I think she just has an issue with people like looking at her a certain way, and she probably was thinking like, oh my gosh, this is on TV, so people are probably gonna look at me like the scum of the earth.
And I think she knew that if she went on there and she was really acting the way that she is, the experts was gonna eat her up. Like,
they were already revving up and getting started, and she
because Pia, when it came to Michelle and David, Pia was not holding back. Like Pia was acting like David cheated on her with Maddison.
Yeah, no, like, for real.
She did not.
I like her.
She did not hold back on him at all.
No.
Anytime he was shot, that's why he shut down, because she was going in on him. And if Maddison had done the same thing as David, she would have went in on her too.
And Dr. Pepper threw her little shade too. She was like, yeah, I thought you were working on things with him. I had no idea that you were working on things with someone else. Oh my God, Dr. Pepper, throw your little shade real quick. And Pastor Kyle, his face just tells it all. Like
Yeah.
he be turning his face up. He be looking like
He disgusted.
he's so disgusted.
Because I think, well, all of them do, but I think especially Pastor Cal really, like, I mean, he's a pastor, so he cares about the sanctity of marriage. So, like, for them to cheat.
In a traditional form as well.
Right.
Because I feel like Dr. Pepper does too, but she does non-traditional things even in her own marriage. And so I think she has a little leeway with certain things, but he's very like.
Yeah. So this just blew him. He's like, yeah. So also they finally did decision day. So I thought that, I don't know why, but I thought that the Hispanic couple, I can't remember their name right now.
Wait, hold on, pause. Decision day already happened?
Yeah, it was last episode with all this other stuff.
Oh, I'm behind.
No, you're not, because you saw Maddison. You saw.
I thought that was the end of the episode. All that was in one.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, I stop at where my notes are. That's where I stop. I haven't seen anything else, so we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do part. Well, we completely skip past Michelle and David also sat down with the experts.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of touched on it, but
yeah, we kind of touched on it in the beginning. But yeah, they sat down with the experts, and Michelle got off scot-free.
They literally acted like she was an angel this whole time. Like they cannot understand why David felt the way he felt.
Yeah, it was too late for him to kind of like plead his case.
Yeah,
they didn't want to hear nothing he had to say about the 2 weeks prior before he decided to explore things. Well, they say it was 2 weeks. I don't even think he waited 2 weeks to explore with Maddison, because they started going to the gym on the honeymoon. So, but yeah, so things didn't end well with them, of course. And yeah, so I'm sorry, y'all. I did not watch the rest of that. I did not know. I saw the little scene where you know what happened? I had to pause it and go to Kendon's game. And so I thought that the rest of it, because I saw it said 2 hours, but sometimes in the episodes they put the after show in the episode. So I was thinking the second hour was the after show.
No, the after show is like 30 minutes.
I'm sorry, y'all.
But then they did decision day, and then they did the little meetup. So MM and Ikechi were there. They got into it.
So I saw like the little clip where they kind of like previewed Maddison and David's like date. That's all I saw.
No, I
didn't see the date.
So you got a whole other thing. Yeah.
Don't tell me.
Can I tell you what happens on the next episode? Because listen, I don't know. We've been riding for MM and talking about Ikechi doing all this stuff, but on the next episode, MM got a whole. I don't know how much time has passed. We ain't seen this episode, but MM got a whole nother man who proposes to her on the show, and it's like, if this is right after the divorce or the decision day, like, how the hell did you meet this man so fast to where y'all are?
Is this at the reunion?
No, this is another meetup where they are all hanging out. They didn't even show the reunion. This is a whole nother episode of them just living life after the episode. Like it shows, so
yeah, that's sketchy. I need some more backstory with that. Oh, that's gonna happen on the next episode.
That's on the next episode. Like, so when you finish this one, you'll see the preview of what I'm talking about.
Okay. I'm so sorry, y'all. I feel terrible. And I'm kind of pissed because I could have been watched it.
Yeah. Okay, so Traitors was good too. Like towards the end.
Yeah.
But the main question that me and Kendra want to know is, how do we get rid of Dolores? Because what world is she living in to where she just feels like she could keep throwing these votes every single time? Like, we literally would not be in the predicament that we are now with this tie thing had Dolores been sensible.
Right. Dolores is acting old. She acting like she doesn't understand what's going on. She acting like she doesn't understand how this works. Like,
that's probably how she's staying so long, because people think that she just doesn't have a clue.
But it's starting to hurt the game now, because it's like we're down to such a small group of people that every vote counts. And that's why they was trying to talk to her ahead of time. Like, listen, Dolores, this person is not even in the running.
Right. Why would you bring up Ivar? Like we ain't talked about him this whole time.
But see, Danielle and Brittany were smart. They knew that Dolores was not going to turn. So they said, let's vote with Dolores so we can get this tie. They knew that was their only hope because they knew Dylan was not going to go their way. They knew for sure Gabby wasn't going to go, or Gabby was in it. Who's the other person?
So the three people that were up was Gabby,
who's voting?
Ivar, Danielle.
They all vote. They all vote.
Yeah, they all voted, but in this tiebreaker, I think only the people who voted for the people that are in the tiebreaker can vote. Right.
So
Brittany can't vote.
Dolores.
No, Brittany can't vote.
No, she could vote. The only people that can't vote is Danielle and Ivar because the two people that are up cannot vote.
Oh, so I misunderstood that.
Yeah, so Brittany and Dolores, and then Dylan.
Gabby and Dylan are the votes. So it's going to be split again. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Unless Brittany changes her mind, unless she's like, maybe I could get her out.
I did think about that.
Because it wouldn't be above Brittany. That's why her and Danielle was beefing in the beginning in the first place. Because Brittany did the same thing to her own big brother.
She would have to decide if she wants to be friends with that. It would be a smart move because Brittany is not on anybody's radar as far as a traitor.
Right. So they would think all the traitors are gone and she would win the money.
Or they would still think Gabby is a traitor.
Well, I mean, this is the final. So don't they just go into that thing where they just throw the bean bags to see who's who? Or I think we got all the traitors out. Remember?
Yeah. But they would still be moted because.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
But yeah, I think Dylan is still suspicious of Gabby, but he knows that Danielle is a traitor.
Yeah, because he was on the fence even before the tour. He was like, I mean, not the tour, but the table. He was like, I don't know. I'm really trying not to go with friendships and go with logic. And logically, I think you're a traitor.
Yeah, and it does make sense because Danielle she's made so many dumb moves earlier in the game, and now they're coming back to bite her. Like she tried to start playing smarter, like too late.
Yeah.
And so the things that they're bringing up make sense. And like, they know Ivar is not. And now it's like, okay, girl, because Brittany
and Danielle know. But Dolores throw the vote.
Dolores is clueless. She's gonna stick with Ivar because she doesn't allow people to turn her. So I feel like Dolores is gonna stick with Ivar. So it's gonna be up to Brittany to really stick by Danielle.
Right, because if they wouldn't have gotten rid of Tom, then Dolores would have still been voting for Tom.
Right. Or
she been voting for him all season.
Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes in these games, people get like scared of what a tiebreaker means. Like if they don't know what's going to happen with a tiebreaker, they might go ahead and turn their vote because they're scared of what the tiebreaker is. So I don't know, child.
Yeah, they ended us on suspense. Tell us what in the chat or the comments what you guys think. Do you think that Brittany's gonna turn or Dolores is gonna turn, or who do you think is gonna win this vote?
Right. And then they have this special power coming up where the seer.
Yeah.
So who do
you think won?
Now we know it's between Dolores, Brittany, and Danielle, right?
I don't know.
Oh, well, they didn't tell us the final score, but it seems like it will go that way because they had the most money up until the last challenge. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into RHOP. So it starts off with Wendy dropping a bomb that Stacey paid TJ to be her man on the show.
Right.
And like, honestly, like, okay, so I think that she paid him, but I don't think that was her real man. And I feel like when she was telling everybody that's her best friend, like she was being honest. Honestly, I don't think that was her best friend though, obviously, because if your best friend ain't gonna do you like that, but like I think that he was a close friend. They were co-workers,
exactly. Maybe she thought of him in that way because he didn't even treat her like a best friend. To be honest, like her friend, I'm sorry, I watched Watch What Happens Live, and her real best friend was on there, the guy that does her hair terribly.
If you didn't Watch What Happens Live, you should, because they dropped all the tea on Watch What Happens Live. It was so good.
But he mentioned, he was like, he acted like he didn't even like you. So again, if that was her best, even her best friend, he didn't even act like a best friend to me, because he acted like he was bothered by her. Like she got on his nerves. He's constantly correcting her, trying to check her.
Like she was like, why would I pay somebody to treat me so poorly?
I agree with that. But I don't know. Stacey, she didn't. Okay, we kind of talked about, me and Katrina were talking about this offline, and I feel like now I feel like Stacey just didn't help her case, because in this scenario, I feel like the ladies should have, in a different circumstance, took Stacey's word over his, because everybody was already sketchy about him. Everybody was kind of like, he's weird, like he acting like he liked the trainer, like everybody kind of already had like these suspicions about him not being A1. So when this whole thing came about, I feel like if Stacey was less defensive, maybe the ladies would have heard her out. But she came out accusing Eddie, talking about Eddie lying. I don't believe that. Where's the tape? Show me the tape. Girl, if they said that, this is TV. If they say they got it on tape, they have it on tape. Believe me. Like they would not.
Eddie is not gonna lie about being on FaceTime, and he knows that there's a camera behind his shoulder.
Girl, it's cameras everywhere. Everything is being filmed 100% of the time. So why would you even put yourself in that position? She had a pretty good poker face, but I think she was very, very nervous, and she immediately took defense. And
she should have called TJ and read him in front of the girls. That would have killed it. That would have put it to an end.
Yep. And it could have proved her point, even if she called him and he didn't answer, because he knows what he said.
Right. He knows that it got back to her, and now he's trying to not own up to it.
So that's the part that makes everybody suspicious. It's like, girl, why wouldn't you just flat out call him? She's like, well, we're not together. You're making excuses. Like now it's between your word against his. And now I'm with Wendy. Wendy is like, listen, girl, I'm trying to help you out.
Right.
Like she really was not helping her case at all. But like I said,
and even Simone was trying to break it down to her. Simone is like,
on Watch What Happens Live.
When you didn't call that man, you made yourself look bad. Like you had every opportunity to show that was a lie, and you didn't. Like, and she was, look, I know this, but Simone brought up the fact that Walter is Cecil's nephew.
Yes.
She didn't blatantly say that Kenya paid Walter, but she said that they dated before, and Kenya asked him to be on the show with him.
Right.
So I feel like it could be a similar situation for Stacey. Maybe she didn't pay him, but she asked him to be on the show as her love interest.
And even Andy was trying to help her out. He was like, could it be that, you asked him to come on the show with you, and because the husbands don't get paid, did you offer him some sort of compensation because he was flying out from LA? Like, it's nothing wrong with that. If you were offering him some type of compensation just for supporting you, I would never do that. I never bought him a ticket. I would never pay for anybody to come see me. It's like, girl, I could have understood that as well if she was just like, we weren't in a serious relationship, and it was a lot for him to come back and forth. He missed jobs to come out here. So I bought a plane ticket a couple of times. Like, I'm making money off of this. He's not.
Right.
That would have been a little understandable.
She wasn't trying to own anything. And then I didn't like her attitude, how she was like, this is still Watch What Happens Live. I didn't like her attitude, how she was like, oh, I didn't need him on the show. Like, I am who I am. Like, he like, I'm thinking like
I got on this show with my own merit. Okay, girl, but this is Real Housewives.
Right. We didn't know.
Gotta be the new girls more than likely always have to have some partner or some type of love interest or some type of dating situation. That's how you get a peach. I mean, what they get.
Then I don't know what they get on Potomac. They get something. But anyways, they'll probably for sure have her back. This is going to keep her.
Yeah.
So, maybe.
Yeah, but so you guys let us know in the comments. Do you believe TJ or do you believe Stacey? And TJ put out a little teaser today, talk about the truth gonna come out. Sir,
I ain't never wanted to call a man the B word so much because, listen, just be quiet. It's not even necessary. You already look bad from the show. Like, just heal.
And I feel like if he had the receipts, he should have already had them ready. Like, what are you trying to conjure up?
Right. Why are you teasing us? Like, just come out with it.
And do you agree Stacey looked better on Watch What Happens Live than she did the reunion?
I feel like her wig is always
her wig it still look a little synthetic, look like a little synthetic blend, but the hairline look way better,
girl,
on Watch What Happens Live, because she usually put her wig back here and then she be having like her little hair out in the front. And yeah, Simone read her a little bit, and Simone even throwing some shade for Portia.
Wait, did she? What'd she say about Portia?
She was like, they were asking Simone something about her show and talking about like Mean Girls and about Phaedra being a mean girl, or Phaedra calling them mean girls. And then she was just like, I don't know why she was calling us mean girl. And she went to run off to be with her friend on the other show that's the ultimate mean girle. I was like, dang, Portia catches strays.
Girl, and then, that part.
And then Andy was like, who? And Andy was like, Portia. And then she was like, I mean, you saw her drag Kenya. You was there. And I'm like, well,
she needs to slow up, because I heard at their reunions that her and Qua got into it so bad they was about to fight. Ooh. So chill out. And I feel like Simone is not the girl to be calling anybody mean girls, because every season she going in on somebody, like every season. Like, she's not a nice girl. So like chill. Y'all talk about Heavenly in her mouth, like Simone is right up there with Heavenly.
Yep, I completely agree.
How we do? Oh, because we talking about Watch What Happens. I'm like, how we jump?
Yeah. We mixed in Watch What Happens Live a little bit, because it was good. It was good last night.
This is a gumbo episode, okay? This is gumbo. Get into it.
Right. Get into it, honey. But then towards the end of the episode, they start talking about Karen. They show this Tide video, child.
This very rehearsed, produced.
Very produced. She laid up, cascading on the bed, child.
She had that was the longest conversation she's had with Ray on camera all season.
Period. Ever. We've never, first of all, we've never seen her bedroom, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
I don't even think the cameras have ever been upstairs. One. Two, her and Ray never talked that long about nothing. And they recanted everything. Like Giselle was like, it was like they had a checklist and they hit every point. And absolutely, like, how long do they have to practice that? I wanted that they pause the camera, get their notes out. Like, it was a lot.
And now she wasn't at a bar. She was at her friend's house, and she overdosed on depressants and drank champagne, and that's why she crashed. Like,
and Giselle was like, didn't they find beer bottles in the car?
Right.
I'm like,
she didn't like the Stella, so she drank champagne.
There's too many details out for her to like be like making up stuff.
Right.
But
and
like
these videos that she's making, like, Karen, this is your time to show humility, to be accountable, like, not still deflect and try to like make up stories to make you be in a good light. Like, that's not possible at this point. Like, everything's out
at all. And now everybody's reflecting back on different things. All these stories are coming out. Ashley talked about how she talked to somebody and they were saying that she day drinks in their bar. Then Wendy comes out and says that she also talked to someone and said that, and these are people that verified it with like, I guess the guy Ashley talked to had a photo. And like, it's all out there. And then when they went back and wrote the tape back of this season with her, I kind of said that during the season, like, she didn't look like she was all there. Like, her eyes was really glazed over, and like she was talking like this in conversations and stuff. And so I don't know if that was, I do kind of believe that she was maybe mismanaging her pills, but that's also addiction.
Right. And how does it, I want to know, like, if she's really doubling up her medication, like, how does her doctor not notice that her prescriptions are only lasting half of the time and not alert or think that that's strange?
Right. Like, exactly. Or if she's been doing this for years, she might have her little dealer. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. Like, what kind of depressants you taking? You on the Xannies? What you doing?
Exactly. And it's like, if you've been on these antidepressants for 7 years, you knew not to mix them with alcohol. You chose to mix them with alcohol, which means you're abusing.
Right.
And so that is what they're saying why you have a problem. Like, I don't know why she's trying to use it as an excuse, because it still is in the form of an addiction and abusing drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
This
And then it's like, how full of yourself could you be to, one, know there's a tape of you after the accident
that she claims she didn't watch.
Right. Refuse to watch the tape. Deny a plea deal that keeps you out of jail, or at least with a minimal sentence, like 60 days. If you do 80% of 60 days, I don't even know how, like, you barely would have been in jail. Like,
or even 6 months on house arrest. Like, Eddie was like, six months on house arrest. I love my house. Like,
she must not want to be around Ray that long, though. Like, we just said, this is the longest conversation they had. Is the house big enough to where they don't have to see each other for 6 months?
It looked big enough to me. I mean, not the whole 6 months, but you know.
Yeah.
And child, he ain't gonna be there. He gonna be on his golf trips. He gonna be like, my turn.
Right. Like, I don't know. You got to be really full of yourself to not take those things. And you know you were drunk. Like, yeah. I think she just wanted to hold up this facade and this image, and I'm a ride it all the way to the end. I don't care. I'm not admitting that I was drunk. And it's that's like, what Jacqueline said.
Because everybody was like, why wouldn't you take that? Jacqueline was like, she was trying to keep her brand. Like, she was trying to keep her name. So she thought she could fight it. And like you said, she was so full of herself, probably because she had 3 DUIs previously and got off with them.
But she said with the other three DUIs, she was able to settle it before it went to trial. This is the first time she took it to
trial. Yeah. So, and I don't understand that. And someone was saying, I think Ashley was saying, like, she had poor lawyers or whatever. But if she was this adamant about not taking a plea, her lawyers have to listen to her.
Right.
So,
yeah.
She didn't watch the video, but they did. And they probably advised her, like, hey, you probably want to take this deal.
Right. You literally said on camera you're lit.
She's like, I didn't watch it. I didn't want Ray to watch it because I knew he would tell me. Like, Karen, what is the truth? Girl, tell the truth.
Right. Shame the devil.
Like, at this point, it's out there. It's all out there. And it's just like, you're still sitting up here lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wild.
And what about the fact that they're saying that somebody else was actually driving the car? What would make her? I don't know if I believe this, because who in the world would she take the fall for?
Right. And then if she why exactly, why would she take the fall for someone else driving? Even if it is your man, Ray's over here saying that people think that your is your man, so you don't got to worry about your husband because he already gonna cover for you. Like, what is the point?
She's that, if it's true, like you said, she was that hung up on her image and so full of herself that she thought she was going to get away with it. And she'd rather take her chances than have the truth be out there that Giselle was right all this time.
Giselle was right. Robin was right. Mia was right. Everybody.
And still, you're still making them right about you having an alcohol problem.
Right.
Like,
and now, look, you done lied about that. Maybe it was with Blue Eyes.
And where is Blue Eyes? We need to talk to him, because was you in the car?
Right. Well, I don't know. Maybe her and Blue Eyes broke up because they didn't mention Blue Eyes was in the car. I'm sure if they knew Blue Eyes was driving, they definitely would have said Blue Eyes. This must have been a new man.
Well, she got third-party information that somebody was driving, and then Karen, they played the tape back where Karen said it on the body cam. The security you hired for me was driving. Where'd he go? He hopped out. And
but why would the driver be lit? Is it his job to stay sober?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know what the real truth is, because she was so toe up, she had to be telling the truth, right? About there was somebody else in the car, and she said he hopped out. But did they investigate that and maybe not find anything and took it up as her being like just woozy?
I don't know.
Because I want to know, like, where was there no evidence of it? Like,
right. Because I mean, even if security came, well, I don't know, he would have probably got in trouble too. Because I'm like, even if he came back and he was like, you know what, I was there, it was a deer. Like that, it's not like they had proof that he was drunk. They couldn't have got him for the DUI. At worst, they could have got him for his like a hit and run. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
But she did say somebody came as a witness, and I'm like, who?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they release the transcripts to this case because I have a lot of questions.
Right. We need to watch this trial like the YSL trial. We need details. We need to see all the things. Okay.
Yeah, like it's too many missing holes. Like I need, but Karen, she missed her opportunity to take accountability, and it sucks. But we'll have to see. Child, she got a year.
Well, let's ask this. I saw this online too. Put it in the comments. Do y'all think they should bring back Charisse? Because a lot of people were saying now that Karen's gone, they should bring back Charisse because she gets along with everybody, and they think it would be a good fit. Do you think that since they're still going to move on with next season, would Charisse be back, or should they bring back in somebody new?
I think Charisse would be a good addition back to the show because she does have relationships there. People were also saying this would never happen. But people are also saying they should bring back Candace and Monique.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
But Monique,
I don't think they will bring both back. Yeah.
Monique says she would never work with that franchise again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Candace, I could see Candace coming back because she's already had her baby. I think she pretty much left because she was not finna risk her pregnancy for these people.
Yeah.
But I could see Candace coming back.
Yeah. But honestly, okay, so I see Candace coming back, but like Giselle is still there, so she don't get along with Giselle.
Which is good for TV.
Right, but she was supposed to be protecting her peace. Like, even though even though I've had my baby, like I still want to protect my peace. Like,
right.
I don't know.
I don't know. If I was her, if the money was right, I would come back.
The money would have to be right.
It had to be real right, because here's the thing too. Giselle don't got Robin no more.
No, she definitely is a different Giselle from last season. Yeah, I kind of like this Giselle better than with Robin.
Yeah, some people need to fly solo because when you got your comfort buddy with you, you'll say and do anything because at the end of the day, you don't care about nobody else that's there because you got your friend with you.
Right.
You can't be on the island alone. And Ashley is a little more like diplomatic. Like she's not going to just, well, she do side with Giselle a lot, but she will.
She does, but she also will tell Giselle like,
right. Yeah. I don't agree with that.
Robin and Giselle, they were loyal to each other to a fault.
Finally, yes.
The fact that Giselle hid the fact that they knew Juan was out here with other girls and stuff just shows why it needed to get broken up. Like it wasn't being they weren't authentic. Like you hiding stuff from the show. Yeah. And then putting everybody else stuff out. Like
and double teaming on everybody. Yeah. I think it would be different if Candace came back now. But then we would have to rehash all that.
Yeah, no, I think Charisse is better because Charisse's beef was with Karen. So I think if she came back, it would be just fresh.
Right. Yeah. That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
So you think they're gonna bring Stacey back?
Yeah, especially now that they got all this TJ drama for sure, and the drama with the designer.
Yeah. Now go and bring Vivian on the table. Bring Big Viv in.
Right. Yeah, so I definitely think Stacey will be back next season for sure.
Yeah. They definitely have to go to the table and make sure that they bring it because it is a shift. Now, Karen, I don't want to say she didn't bring much, but she was like a staple, but I don't know if I'm gonna miss her necessarily. Like she brought a little shade here and there, but like
I think she is an asset to the show though.
Yeah.
Like she is somewhat of the glue. Cause like
I just don't know if I'm gonna like miss her. Like I feel like I missed Candace, even though she was not my favorite person. Like her comments, her wittiness, like I feel like it adds to the character of the show. And like I think Karen is a staple. And she is needed because of her being a staple. But as far as like
But I think for Karen though too, like with every season there's like a beef where the groups separate, and Karen is the one who helps to facilitate bringing it back together.
That's true.
I feel like should it fracture next season, it's just gonna be fractured. Like nobody is gonna actually work for resolution.
I think Wendy would. Wendy seems like she's in a different, unless the drama is necessarily like with her specifically, because I feel like this season she didn't really have no beef with nobody.
Well, at the end, she definitely had beef with Karen, and she definitely turned on Karen. Karen was her ride or die, and now she is like done.
Well, did she turn on Karen, or did Karen turn on her?
Well, no, I agree. It's not. I'm not saying it's not undeserving, but I'm just saying I don't know. For me, even if I had beef with my friends, like I'm not about to be airing them out and just being negative against them. If it's really my friend and we as close as they say, like, am I gonna fool with them? No, but I'm not about to. Like, I'm not gonna comment. Like, I can't do it because even though we ain't friends, I was still like,
I feel like she kind of had to in this instance because she had to like defend herself. Like the stuff that Karen was saying was just not true. And then at the end of it, I think she was hurt. I think she was hurt at the end, especially with the whole thing that happened with the White House and, her saying this stuff. She found out stuff on camera after the fact. Then Karen did certain things, didn't invite her, didn't include her. The whole speech thing, that cut her.
Yeah.
The whole going around the table like that. I think she reacted to that. Do I agree with it?
I don't know. I kind of probably would have had Stacey's energy towards Vivian. Who? I'm not addressing that.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's move on to Married to Medicine.
Yes.
So it starts off with Toya and her husband, and they have to rehash the weekend, and they talking about this anniversary party that Toya wants to plan. Honestly, I would want to go to a Bridgerton party too. I think it low-key.
Yeah, it looked fun. And I like that they did the dance class. I was telling my husband, I was like, that looks fun.
And they had the like lady whistle down paper. What do they call theirs? I don't know. It was they had a different name for it, the Georgia something. And it looked like
her little invitation. Yeah.
Yeah. And it did, I don't know. I ain't gonna say who I think they had on as the picture. Never mind. Anyway, so they had they was in the kitchen talking about the party or whatever, and they had to try to decide who they was gonna invite to the party. I don't know, like I don't know. So I think in the end, I think she made the right decision, but I don't know if I would have been struggling as much as she was to decide whether or not she was going to invite George and Tisha or King and Quad. Like,
right. Because she was like, I want everybody to come together. Like, I want to invite everybody. I don't want to exclude anyone. And I think she was forming a relationship with T. I don't think it was more so about Greg. I think it was more so about T, because I feel like she probably felt like T was just kind of like a casualty at war. And I think she kind of feels bad for her being put in this position, and she's kind of been forging a friendship with her. So I can see why she had like a little bit of back and forth. But like you said, I think she made the right decision in the end.
Yeah. I think what really like helped too, like for everybody, help pick the side is Greg trying to press charges. Yeah. Like the men come together and they sit and have this little conversation at Contessa's house. I don't even remember her husband's name. And and Greg, wait, what's Toya's husband's name? I just said it. What's his name? Eugene, yeah. So
Eugene had me rolling.
Right. Eugene and Contessa's husband, they Dr. Damon, right? No, that's not Dr. Damon. What's his name?
I forgot.
Anyways, so Contessa's husband and Eugene they at Contessa's husband's house. And Eugene is like, so you press charges? What did he like?
Did he put his hands on you? He kept cutting him off.
What kind of charge did you press? And he was like, battery. And he's like, well, did he hit you? And he's like, well, you don't have to hit them for it to be simple. Did he hit you though? No, he didn't hit me. So what?
I was dying because I was like, he's talking to him like he's one of his kids. Okay, but did he hit you?
Right. Like, what is battery? Right.
Attempted battery, maybe.
But is that even a real thing?
I don't know, child. I think he making up stuff, and I think his ego is bruised, and I
Right.
think that he is trying to hurt Quad. He knows
Well,
Quad is the
clearly,
happiest that she's ever been, and he wants to hurt her by putting her man in jail.
he's hurt because he came up with that terrible song. Like, I'm with Eugene. We should be at like they should have been able to press charges against Dr. Graves for listening to that song, and we should too because
For having us watch it a couple times.
Right.
Why did they have to run it back in the green
Right.
screen? We didn't need to see that again. He had the nerve to put. I said, "Is he serious?"
Right, and then the high note at the end really took me out.
Like, girl, did he really think that song was good? He said, you know, I got in the lab and you know, I got my guitar and you know, I just felt like I need to get this out. And he bust out a pink speaker in his laptop.
He thought it was amazing. And I love Eugene where he's like, sexual chocolate. That's so good.
But the fact that they started laughing immediately, like they were both laughing immediately. Like, what are we watching? What is this? Like, you are a grown man and you set up in your house. First of all, why do you have a whole studio in your house? And you sound like that.
Was he always doing music? I don't remember him doing that with Quad.
I don't remember that. And I'm free from you being divorced. Right. You want to be free from what?
Right. And then Letitia, she knows she wrong hyping him up. Like, look,
at some
point you gotta be honest with your husband. Like, babe, that's not for you.
And if I was her, I honestly would be hurt because I would be like, so you haven't healed from this relationship.
No.
You still feel some type of way. You should not be married to me. And this woman still brings this much emotion out of you to where you feel like you have to write a song and embarrass our family.
Right. Sing it terribly and record it. Like, don't record it at least. Like, just get it off your chest and move on.
And she's standing over there recording and supporting it. Like, you should have been honest with him and said, I'm glad that you got that out, but we're not showing anyone this. It's terrible.
Right. I'm deleting this now. Thank you. I'm so
and it makes you look like you're still holding on to something with this woman.
Right. It validates everything everybody's been saying about him not being over Quad, him being jealous of King. Like, come on.
You're clearly jealous of King because you're trying to lock him up.
Right.
For not even touching you.
Right. Talking about, well, he could get 90 days in jail or probation. Like, really? You trying to go that deep? Like,
and I'm glad Toya said what she said to T when they talked about, like, girl, you was charging at people.
Right. Like, listen, Toya was on fire this episode. She made so much sense the whole episode. Like,
she absolutely
at
did.
the lunch, she was talking to Tisha about, like, you wasn't innocent. What if Quad press charges on you? We literally had to hold you back because you were so fired up.
Yes.
Like,
and even her friend that came with her had to agree with her. Like, girl, look. Now,
well, look, I feel like her friend low-key switched sides because even after, like, before, like, all of this stuff aired, like, Simone was throwing parties where Greg and Tisha wasn't invited, but their friends was there at the parties. Yeah. Like, she was hanging out with Simone and them more than Tisha since I've seen from the show. I didn't even know, like, before the show aired that they were Greg and Tisha's friends. I thought that they were friends with Simone and them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because I think she kind of standing on the side of what is right. And even when they were sitting at Quad's house, she was just kind of like, you know, like nobody wants to condone that type of
you about to
double standard. Like nobody wants to do that. So I don't know. I feel like Tisha she has her bubble with Greg, but you can't make other people understand that.
Right. Like, and that's why Toya was like, look, I can't, like, if you force me to pick a side, I'm going to pick a side. And the only people that are telling me that they can't handle themselves in other rooms is you. So it seems like you're the problem. So I'm not going to invite you. Like,
yeah, you clearly can't control yourself.
Right.
Like you showed us on several instances where you've lost control. She literally does go 0 to 100. We talked about this in the last episode. Like she does not have self-control.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this triggers her so much because as a woman, you cannot not see that no woman should affect your husband this much.
Right.
Like, is he over her or not? Because he gets emotional every single time that something comes up with her. He cannot pay her dust. He's not unbothered. He's more bothered than he's willing to admit.
Right. And that's why he was even commenting on her at the thing. Like, if you are over it, you sitting over here with your new wife, why you care how much she have sex? Why are you telling her to I mean, he didn't tell her to shut the F up, but why are you telling her nobody care about what you got to say or whatever? Like,
you clearly you
do. Right.
You're showing us all that you care. And if I was her, I would be very like uncomfortable, because it's like, you're bothered. Yeah. And why? You should not be bothered. Y'all got a divorce a long time ago. You asked me to marry you. You bringing me around these people, and I thought you was cool, because she didn't seem bothered at first when they were on the retreat. Mm-hmm. Sweet Tea was just kind of sitting there like with a little smirk on her face, but she didn't seem bothered until he got bothered.
Right.
So
yeah, he definitely affects her. That's what they was talking about too at the lunch, how she lets him, he has to speak, whatever he says goes, and like it's like she doesn't have her own thoughts anymore. Like whatever he thinks is what it's gonna be. Right. But that's the type of woman that he wants. He wanted Quad to be like that, and that's not who she was, and that's why they wasn't together. Now he has somebody who can't think for themselves, and he loves it.
Right. And I kind of understood what she was saying to a certain extent about like letting him choose if they go to the event or not, because it's about his comfortability, since that's his ex-wife. Mm-hmm. But if he wasn't as controlling as he is in all other aspects, I think people would be a little bit more understanding of that. But it's not just that he's uncomfortable. He is controlling everything. Like, you don't have a voice. But if it was a normal relationship, yeah, I'm riding with my husband. You know, like, he's uncomfortable. He doesn't want to be around these people, or whatever the case. If he feels like he needs to press charges and that made him feel uncomfortable, I can't tell him that he shouldn't feel the way he feels. Mm-hmm. But also, I wouldn't let my husband do that.
But also, like Dr. G, how the heck do you honestly feel like you were sitting in there relaxed, minding your business, and you have no idea why he acted the way he did?
I can't wait till they run the tape at the like, no.
There's no way that you think that you did nothing to provoke him.
You clearly saw on the tape where he said, I don't give a F what she said, or whatever he said.
Right. And
you said it to his face. You provoked that situation, and then you stood up.
Right. He should have just let King think that he wasn't talking to Quad, because King was fine until he realized that he was talking to Quad, and then it became an issue.
Right. He had
down on it.
Yeah, because he had to beat his chest, because their King is standing here with his chest out, you know, and so he's sitting there looking like, right. And so he feel like he had to say something to him to knock him off his block, and it's like, oh, so you want problems,
right?
You're intimidated by this man when you shouldn't be, because if that's not your wife no more, you don't want her, you don't care about her, why are you bothered?
Yeah.
You should be like, hey man, what's up? Good to see you. That's it. Like, y'all don't have to have like endless conversations. Y'all don't have to talk about the past. Y'all don't have to talk about the future. Y'all don't talk about nothing. But he was bothered.
And then Jackie takes it upon herself to go and talk to Phaedra. Like, Jackie, that is not your role, girl, because you are messy and you heavenly best friend. She don't really want to fool with you either.
Right.
And why did she bring her husband? Like, what? He goes downstairs and sits and drinks lemonade by himself. Like, I don't understand why he needed to come with her to go to Phaedra's
house. She needed backup in case Phaedra was a jumper.
Like, what the heck? That was so weird. And of course, it was a pointless trip because Phaedra admitted nothing. She didn't admit that she knew Apollo was coming. Like, she doesn't understand why they're mad at her or why they didn't come and support her. Like, it's just,
yeah. I feel like Phaedra was ready to go. She got the call that RHOA was going to welcome her back on the show, and she needed to make an exit from Married to Medicine because they're filming at the same time, and she doesn't have time to film for both.
Right.
So I feel like
But Real Housewives of Atlanta is more her scene. She doesn't really have to have a husband. On here, it's kind of pointless for her to be on the show with no spouse, especially
no spouse that's related to medicine at all.
Right, that's what I was about to say. She's not a medical doctor, and she's not dating anybody with in medicine. Even the guy who she got from the speed dating wasn't a part of medicine. So it's like, what are you here for?
It was a bad move for her to even be on the show in general. But I feel like they casted her because they thought that they were getting like 2016 Phaedra or something. Mm-hmm. And no, she's not doing that no more. Like, we'll see if she does it on RHOA. But at the time, what she was giving on social media and stuff like that, she was not going to go over there and turn up. Even when she was on like Traitors and stuff like that, like she was not giving the same energy of who she was before, what she was kind of like known for. Yeah. And so I think it was just a flop in general. The first season, I don't think they should have brought her back.
I think it was to get her. I think she did it to get herself back in the door for Real Housewives.
Yeah,
she wasn't on. Yeah, before Traitors, she wasn't on nothing. Bravo.
Nothing. It was a good look for her.
Yeah,
to get her face back out there, but I don't think it was a good look for the show to like pull her. Like, it didn't make sense. Everybody was confused. Like, people weren't even as excited as I think they thought that people were going to be.
Yeah.
And then I feel like once she got the call, or once she saw that the opportunity was coming, once Candy made that announcement that she wasn't coming back, she said, "Oh, I don't need this anymore." Because even her exit was stupid. It was like, girl, what did they do to you? Right. You literally made this up because you knew Apollo was coming, and you're acting like everybody's being so fake and so shady. And it's like, girl, you okayed this.
Yeah.
Because what else is she mad at them about?
That she feels like they didn't have her back. Like, afterwards, she said nobody called her to check on her. And like, I don't think she's so mad about Apollo. I just think that she wanted them to like run after her and like make sure she was good. But like,
you just called them B words in the previous episode, and you said you didn't care about them.
Right.
Like, girl, you didn't build no camaraderie with these ladies. The nicest thing you said was last season at the reunion about you wishing that if you had a group like this on your show, maybe would have saved your marriage. That's the nicest thing you said to any of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see what she brings on the RHOA, but
it comes on next weekend. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I saw this sneak peek where Shamia was telling her connection to the whole like all the girls. I guess Shamia is the one who's friends with most of the people on the show. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Like, I feel like it's gonna be a whole new like Real Housewives. Like, even though it's still some familiar faces, like the dynamic is gonna be different, especially since Shamia is the one who knows everybody.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see. So
I'm glad to see her come out of Portia's shadow. I seen they had a little tizzy at the table.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for watching. If you stuck around this long, make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribed and you turn on your bell notifications, because you never know when we're going to go live. We just going to pop out and show up. So, yeah. We'll see y'all later. Good night.